Welcome, everyone, to the Week 8 series of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host, Sean Gann, alongside my partner, Jack McNicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you haven't had the chance, go check out our website at justsayingfootball.com and check us out on Instagram for article and video updates at JustSayingNoGWJS. We got some news before we go into the afternoon and night games. Today's Halloween.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Happy
I am your favorite childhood book guy character.
Yeah, I am Mr. Incredible. I am hoping to make some incredible picks today for the Sunday late afternoon games. And we are here. We're going to be talking about the late afternoon and Sunday night games. We got 4 big games for you. And we start off with a divisional matchup in the AFC West with the LA Chargers going over to Denver to play the Broncos. And Shanzi, how you feeling about this game?
I think it's going to be a really, really fun game. Both these teams are 2-4. You don't want to be in last place anymore in the division, which you're tied for. So right now you're fighting for that possible third spot. As everyone knows, I have been incredibly high on the Chargers this entire offseason, so I'm going to start talking about them. Justin Herbert looks to be the official franchise quarterback of that team. He looks fantastic. The deep ball, like we said last week, is going great. Finally got his first win as a rookie last week, and he's looking to build on that this week, especially getting Brian Bulaga back to help out that offensive line, which is going to be great. And he's going up against a pretty weak Broncos defense. All he's going to really need to worry about is Bradley Chubb coming at him.
Yeah, Bradley Chubb is definitely the biggest threat on this defense that has actually shown out a little bit. But the big thing I'm looking at here is that, Justin Herbert the last couple of weeks has been on fire. The last 2 games, he's been 44 of 77, 57%, and he's had 7 touchdowns and no picks. He's literally looked he doesn't look like a rookie. He looks very prepared. We've been talking about him. And the Chargers right now, they're 4th in total offensive yards. So Bradley Chubb is going to have to bring it with Justin Herbert playing this way. On the flip side, Drew Lock is not playing that way.
Yeah, he's struggling the last 2 games. He's 34, 64, 33%, 443 yards, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He did get the win against the Patriots. The team did get the win then, so that's always a positive sign to get something like that. I'm looking at this game. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I just feel like the way Herbert has controlled this offense, and again, just the weapons that they have, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, Josh Kelly, or Justin Jackson. Austin Eckler, once he returns, there's a lot of weapons there for them to use to go against, and it makes a mismatch against this Broncos defense, take advantage of that. And then on the flip side, it's something that the Broncos offense hasn't shown enough to me. I think they're going to rely heavily on Melvin Gordon and Phillip Lindsay this week and try to establish the run game and hopefully give Drew Lock some little bit of ease off of his overall passing game, hopefully make it a little bit more rhythm for him, but I'm still going to go with the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Broncos in this one just because I feel like they can make a couple of plays to knock this young Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert off. We've seen rookies have good stretches this season and follow up in, not the best way. And we have seen him really take a stand, but he is going to have to deal with, Bradley Chubb, as you mentioned. But I'm really liking Hunter Henry this week against the Denver Broncos defense. I really like his ability to block for the run game and really create a lot of threat in the red zone. But the problem is, on the other side, we have Noah Fant, and I believe that Noah Fant is also going to have a big game. And Drew Lock, after the struggles, I believe that he's going to have a bounce back. Yeah, and with that, I see we have the next game is the Saints, and they're going up to Chicago. We've been big on the Chicago defense and how strong they really are against, good quarterbacks this year. How are we feeling about this game?
This is a bounce-back game if you're the Bears defense especially. You kind of got a little bit overworked last week against the Rams. They were struggling to try to find points to make anything happen at any given time. Eddie Jackson got a touchdown. If you're a Chicago fantasy defensive owner, you were really happy about that. I was super happy. I think right now they will have Allen Robinson back in. That's a huge boost for this offense. He needed that. He got into the concussion protocol, was able to clear it today. But you want to see Nick Foles do something. You want to see David Montgomery do something. This offense has looked pretty middle of the pack. It hasn't looked great. There's no wow factor outside of outside of Allen Robinson, who's doing everything for those receivers.
Yeah. I mean, and on the other side, speaking of receivers, we have Michael Thomas, who's been out for, since week 1. He's had 2 injuries and a benching. And, this Bears defense is really going to be coming at Drew Brees when he's not going to have Michael Thomas yet again. But this is going to have to be up on the Saints defense. Marshawn Lattimore is going to have to try to stop Allen Robinson. Cam Jordan is going to have to do his thing and really get involved. We're going to have to really try to find, a way for both these offenses to get going, because without Michael Thomas, the Saints offense has, it hasn't been really the key. Their defense has been able to come up big for them. But the only problem is they are giving up, they're 25th in the league with giving up points. And that's the only problem, is they're letting teams finish drives. Chicago has a problem finishing drives. So this will be a very interesting matchup. But I'm going to go with Chicago at home.
God, I want to go Chicago because of that defense. I'm gonna go with the Saints. Just to defer from you, I think that Alvin Kamara has been having a great season, continues to have a great season. I think they can run the ball pretty well, and kind of give him a change of pace with Latavius Murray and Alvin Kamara. That kind of they do have a good 1-2 tandem like that. Latavius Murray is also very familiar with the Bears, having played for the Vikings for quite some time before signing there. So I'm going to go with the Saints. I think they can get it done. They also went in there last year and actually beat the Bears, but that was also when Teddy Bridgewater was at the helm.
Yeah.
So different quarterback, a little bit slower, a little bit less mobile. Drew Brees, that might be a very different game, but I'll go with the Saints.
Yeah, the Saints, good pick. I mean, the Bears and Saints, this should be just a battle of 2 great defensive lines and 2 offenses that just got to get going. Now we got one of the best offenses in the league here in the next matchup. Maybe one of the best rivalries in the league, with Seattle and the 12th man hosting San Francisco and Jimmy G. How are we feeling about this game?
I think the 49ers Seahawks games are always thrillers. It doesn't matter. Even when the 49ers are doing poorly, only getting 4 or 5 wins this season, every single Seahawks game, they put up a fight. These are the games to watch. It's definitely, in my opinion, outside of the Steelers-Ravens game, this is the other game to watch, which is going to be perfect because you got the Steelers-Ravens at 1, you got this one right at 4:25. So you're going to have a great day for football. I'm looking at this game. The Seahawks lost last week. They took a tough loss to the Cardinals. DK Metcalf was not a factor at all in that game. It was actually kind of incredible. It was the Tyler Lockett show. I mean, 3 touchdowns. The guy has had a great season. Both of them are having a great season. I'm curious who's going to be what is this 49ers offense going to look like? Tevin Coleman looks like he's coming back. They still got Jared McKinnon. They got Jermichael Hasty. What are they going to do? Is this going to be a game where they're going to pass a lot against this weak secondary, or are they going to utilize this running back by committee? Because it seems like whenever Mostert gets injured or McKinnon's not playing, there is a guy who can step in and be a number 1 running back. So I don't know what they're going to really do in terms of the offensive side, because they have some mismatches if they want with the really weak Seahawks secondary.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Shaquille Griffin, their top corner, being out, this secondary is like, it's just easy for teams this year to score on them, especially big plays. And somebody who's been making big plays is, Brandon Ayuk, the rookie, who, hasn't really been able to play due to injury in the beginning of the year, but he has come back in a flash. And with Deebo Samuel not playing, they're going to have all those targets going to him and George Kittle. And I'm looking for a big week. As you said, this Seahawks defense is not what it used to be. It's easy for people to score. They are the worst passing defense right now, allowing 368 a game in through the air. And even though the Niners are hurt on defense, and we've seen them go after injury on injury, it's 19.4 per game. That's 5th best in the league. This is all good coaching, and with that comes this committee where you're saying Telvin Coleman can come back. If he can come back, it just adds to another weapon to this offense that desperately needs anybody they can get back.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at this game. I think that the 49ers are going to surprise. and get the win in Seattle. I think that they've been playing really, really good football despite the injuries, despite the major superstar losses from these injuries. They're super well coached, like you said. The system seems to finally be working better with Jimmy G now back in it. He had a really bad week against the Dolphins, but has shown us since then, okay, I've grown and I moved on from that game. The rookie wide receiver has been doing well for you. Everything's kind of has been working for them now. And I think that that's going to continue. They were here in this position last year where they were a great team. What does it take to get to the playoffs? It's winning these division games. And both teams know this, but I feel like the 49ers are going to come out on top this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great pick, but I personally have to go with, the Seahawks at home. I can never, doubt that 12th man the way that they play. Russell Wilson plays great at home, and, just the way he's playing this year, he has 71% of his passes completed. And, whether it's DK Metcalf 1 week or Tyler Lockett 1 week, this team is getting it done. This San Francisco team does know them very, very well. I mean, I want to pick San Francisco, but I cannot bet at home against the Seahawks the way that they're playing right now. Coming off that loss, they lost in overtime. They are hungry for that next win. That's how Russell Wilson looks at it. He looks at it week by week, 1-0. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks this week.
I like it. So going with the Seahawks, let me ask you, is it the DK Metcalf show or is it the Tyler Lockett show against the 49ers?
I think DK Metcalf is going to have a bigger game. If you have him in fantasy, I would play him because, Tyler Lockett has had a couple of games this year where he's had multi-touchdown games, and having a big game last week, they're going to look DK's the way this week. The Niners, they are a little still banged up in their secondary, and they can take advantage of that. I think that especially with Tart doubtful and Jimmy Ward questionable, this is going to be an opportunity for them to go ahead and just use DK Metcalf in his size and speed.
I like it. He is a mismatch against anyone else he plays. So now we get to talk a little bit about the Sunday night football game where your two favorite teams get to face each other. Dallas Cowboys going to Philly to play the Eagles. What you got, Jack?
Yeah, my two favorite teams in my favorite place, in my favorite stadium. But no, total jokes. But the whole thing here is really just two teams competing for a division title with 2 wins each at the midseason. And unfortunately, Andy Dalton went out last week with a concussion. So this week, Ben DiNucci will be getting the start. But, I'm looking on the other side of the ball at Philly. Carson Wentz, he has had his carousel of receivers this year. And, now Zach Ertz is hurt. Miles Sanders is injured. We're looking at, a guy who has 10 touchdowns and 10 interceptions right now. He has 5 touchdowns on the ground. He has to get it done all himself. Is he going to throw for more yards than Ben DiNucci this week, though? Tell us about our guy, Ben DiNucci.
That's an interesting question. I'm going to I'll say yes, he's going to throw more than him just because it's Carson Wentz. He's a more proven guy. Some fun facts about Ben DiNucci in case no one wanted to research them. Totally understand that. So he played for 2 separate college teams. He played for Pittsburgh and he played for James Madison University. He's better known for his career at James Madison University. His 2018 junior season, not the best season, 211 for 309 in completions and attempts, 12 interceptions, 16 touchdowns, 2,275 yards. Had a really big senior season, though. Went 268 for 378. That's a 71% completion. That's what you want to see. 3,441. Cut the interceptions in half. Brought that from 12 to 6 and actually almost doubled the touchdowns. Went from 16 to 29. So the kid can play. It seems like he's kind of a dual threat, has some rushing yards to his name. It seems like it to be a pretty good runner for the most part. But he almost ran for 600 yards his senior season too. But I'm looking at this game and I just think okay, this is a bad Monday night game. This is or Sunday night. I mean, this is not the game that you really want to tune into. You're probably going to maybe switch to animation domination during every chance that you get just to watch something that isn't this. This is not the most appealing game unless you're an Eagles or Cowboys fan, because this means that if you win, you're first in the NFC East. Right now, they're currently only at 7 wins total in that division. You can get a big
4 teams.
Yeah, you can get a big divisional win here. You get to be number one. I don't think that this is a very exciting game, even if you're a fantasy owner, unless maybe you have Ezekiel Elliott and you're expecting
Travis Fulgham in the flex.
Yeah, but this is
or any of the Cowboys receivers. I like CeeDee Lamb this week. I think that, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be a rookie crime this week between Ben DiNucci and CeeDee Lamb. They could take advantage of this Eagles secondary. While Darius Slay is on Cooper.
Yeah, it will be fun. Yeah, I think you're right, but I'm not I'm not excited for this game. I love football.
Absolutely.
This is not a game I'm like, yes. Well, I can't wait for this matchup. I've had this circled for weeks, but who do you got though throwing for more yards? Carson Wentz or Ben DiNucci?
I mean, I threw that one at you. I think that Ben DiNucci definitely has a supporting cast for the rest of the season, or at least for the next couple of weeks. But Carson Wentz is getting it done, through the air this year. But what I'm really looking at here is, you mentioned to me earlier about Ezekiel Elliott. Just, if the Cowboys aren't going to be able to use him, Ben DiNucci is never going to stand a chance against guys like Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett coming at him all day. I think that this really is going to have to be Zeke's team. I feel like we've been spending weeks talking about how he needs to be more involved. He needs more targets. He needs more rushes. It's going to be on him, I think, this week, and I am going to go with the Cowboys on this one.
Wow, you're picking them again. I'm definitely going to go with the Eagles. Last 2 weeks, and I agree, it needs to go through Ezekiel Elliott. That's how this team operates, and they've tried, it just hasn't succeeded. Last 2 weeks, both games, 12 carries. Both games under 50 yards. We got a 49-yard game against the Cardinals, a 45-yard game against the Washington football team. This is just not his season. Since the injury to Dak, he also has not been able to find the end zone. He's fumbled twice. It's not been his game going on right now. And you mentioned the front four of the Eagles, and I just think that they're going to kind of have a field day on this Cowboys team. And if you're a Cowboys fan, and I've said it for 2 weeks, this is not having the best season. You're keeping your head down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. This is not one of those games, as you mentioned, that I'm as excited for. It's kind of like punishment that I have to watch this game to wait for the Giants game on Monday for them to play Tom Brady. But here we are, Sunday Night Football.
This is going to decide your division leader currently. So
yeah, we're going to see what happens. No matter what happens, we're going to have 8 total wins in the division by the end of Sunday night.
That's what matters.
That's what matters.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Happy Halloween. If you can, give out candy.
Happy Halloween. Yeah, go out, have a good time, and enjoy those Sunday late games and Sunday Night Football tomorrow. And check out Just Saying Football, youtube.com, justsayingfootball.com, and Instagram, Just Saying No G WJS. Thank you all for listening. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.